Hey guys, welcome back. One of the most dangerous lines in recovery you can hear anyone say, it's not relapse. Do you know what it is? I'm fine. It's fine. I'm good. I've got this. Ooh, I've got this. I don't need meetings anymore. Complacency in recovery. It doesn't usually show up loud. It shows up quiet, comfortable, and reasonable. Resting on our laurels. We've all been there. The good news is you can bounce back from it. And in my experience, it's a lot easier to come back from complacency than it is before you relapse than it is after you relapse. Like, look, we can all be doing better in recovery. I could always be doing more in recovery. It's also important to acknowledge where you're at and not compare yourself to other people's recovery programs. How many times have I sat in the front row of a meeting, third row of a meeting, I don't sit in the front row, and thought to myself, damn, that guy is so much better than me at recovery. I am probably the worst person in recovery after hearing someone else's story. Stop it. Stop comparing yourself. So today we're going to break down what complacency actually is, why it sneaks in, what it looks like before relapse, and how to course correct before things fall apart. Chances are, if you're working a good recovery program, you can catch this before it's too late, before you have a slip, before you have a full-blown relapse. It is possible to get back on the recovery horse. Me telling you that I've been complacent before is a huge understatement. I was the guy that did the recovery stuff, went to the meetings, and just to check the boxes. I wasn't actually doing the work that I had been doing previously to get myself sober. You'll hear people say sometimes, and I agree with this too, is one of the worst places to be in recovery is when things are going well. When things are going well, I don't need you. I don't need God. I don't need recovery. I don't need meetings. I don't need anything when things are going really well, if left unchecked. People start to talk and you stop listening. You think you know everything and I've got this, like I said at the beginning. So, I mean, ultimately, I hope today helps you catch yourself before it's too late. I hope you're not sitting here listening to this, beating yourself up, because I can do that. I can definitely do that when I hear people's recovery programs and what they look like. And I compare myself, like I said already at the beginning, comparing myself to them doesn't do anything for me. I could always be doing more in recovery, and it doesn't mean that what I'm doing is not good enough right now. It doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It just means that should keep an eye on it. I should keep an eye on things that are falling by the wayside, resting on my laurels, getting complacent, getting comfortable. If I'm maintaining my sobriety, my recovery, I am moving backwards, in my opinion. I am regressing. Maintenance is a dangerous word. I need to be growing in recovery, even if it's incremental, progress, not perfection. So complacency, what it is and what it isn't. So plainly, complacency is not relapse. Complacency is emotional autopilot, sort of just striding through, the work is good, the relationship is good, everything's good. I've got this. I've said that a lot already. I'm sorry. I hate when people say, you've got this. You got this, buddy. No, you don't. You don't got shit. You need help. And so do I. So it's when recovery stops being intentional. I stop setting intentions in my recovery. I'm just kind of going through the motions, autopilot, like I said. Confidence says I stay ready. Complacency says I don't need to. Ooh, that's good. I love that. I'm ready for whatever happens. I'm preparing for the worst. Complacent is confidence. Expecting the best, preparing for the worst. I'm ready though. I stay ready for whatever life throws at me. Complacency is I don't need to do that. If you're not journaling, if you're not praying, if you're not meditating, and at one point in your recovery you were doing that, you're basically saying that you don't need to. Again, this is not here to spread shame and blame and make you feel like a piece of shit. Just have a look at things. If I'm not doing something in my recovery today, it's because I'm saying that I don't need to do it. Otherwise, I'd be doing it. Most relapses don't start with drugs or alcohol. They start with skipped routines, loosened boundaries, quiet disconnection. This was me. I had two major relapses where it started. I mean, it always starts with the emotional relapse first, right? But it started with the thoughts I was having in my head. And I had a routine of telling people about the things that were going on in my head. I stopped doing that. I stopped praying. I still went to meetings, but I was checking the boxes. As I said before, I was checking the recovery boxes. I wasn't showing up early to meetings and talking to my friends. I wasn't staying behind and telling them about how I was doing, which I was doing at one point in my recovery. I stopped doing that. It was a slow burn. My relapse was a slow burn, but it was rough. And one of the hardest things I've ever done, was coming back from that by far. If you can avoid that and I can help you, if not, maybe you need to learn that lesson and do some more research. Hopefully not, because it is horrible out there. We still just can't have one. I still just can't have one. I don't know about you, but I can't have one of anything. The important thing here is you don't fall off the cliff. You drift toward it. Cliff being, I don't have to tell you, relapse, death. You drift towards it. We are all just one arm length away from a drink or drug. One phone call away. It happens like that. Why complacency shows up. As I said to you before, life starts to get better. The bills are paid. Relationships improve. Chaos decreases. Things are starting to look pretty good. I did all this. You start taking credit for your own life instead of giving credit to the organization you're a part of, the program you've been working, or God. Pain fades. Recovery worked, so we stopped doing it. We stopped becoming desperate. Remember when we were desperate? Remember when you were desperate? I remember that. Felt like it was just yesterday. This gift of desperation starts to fade and things are okay. I don't need as much recovery as I used to have. And sure, that might be true for a lot of people. Okay. So my recovery looks a lot different. I don't have to go to as many meetings as I used to, but recovery, the priority of recovery in my life still has to be number one. It doesn't, the time spent per week is maybe not the same going to recovery things, but I am still constantly in a state of recovering. I'm thinking about God. I'm thinking about my defects of character. I'm thinking about how I am in the world. I'm thinking about others, or at least I'm trying to. I'm actively thinking about recovery, Anthony. Are you moving toward recovery or toward relapse? There's no middle ground here. You're either moving toward relapse or toward recovery. So when pain is the motivator, comfort becomes the excuse. When pain is the motivator, comfort becomes the excuse. 2, ego sneaks back in, edging God out, ego. We start saying things like, I'm not like them anymore. I don't need as much help or support. I'm past that phase. I'm changed now. I'm different. I'm healed. I'm cured. I'm better. Any of these ring a bell? I've said them. Ego reframes vulnerability as weakness. 3, routine fatigue. So things start to get boring. I always say this, but most people don't relapse because recovery gets hard. They relapse because it gets boring. It gets mundane. It gets repetitive. And we start to look for fun again. Fun in quotations. Dopamine. Where do we find dopamine? Everywhere but inside us. I'll tell you that much. I use outside things to change my inside. Meetings feel repetitive. Journaling feels boring. Check-ins feel unnecessary. Why am I doing this? What's the point? I don't need this. But repetition is what keeps us stable. Boring recovery is working recovery. Ooh, boring recovery is working recovery. Yeah. That doesn't mean life isn't going to be fun, too. That's the other thing I want to emphasize here. Life is fun in recovery. Routines themselves are routines. They're just that. They're not supposed to be fun. Like journaling is not fun. It's just a routine. It's a mental habit. It's like going to the gym. I don't enjoy lifting weights at the gym. Maybe some of you do, but I just go because I know it's good for my health. And I've burned a routine in my head that when I don't go, I feel off. Recovery is the same. So 4, comparison. Other people are worse than me. This is good. I do this a lot. I'm better than you or you're worse than me. One of those two things. I'm doing better than most people. I don't belong here anymore. Comparison kills vigilance. I heard Tony Robbins say this once, but the head is the head versus the heart, right? We use the head or the heart. We're either in analytical mode or loving mode, God mode. And the head compares and shrinks. It shrinks everything, compares and I'm different, I'm better, I'm this and that. The heart, when we think with the heart, it amplifies, grows, and spreads more joy, love, and connection. But when we're using our head, we're in this analytical mode. I'm me versus you, this versus that. I need things, material. It's not a good place to be. We're constantly in a state of depression and not enoughness, a lack of gratitude, anger, dangerous place for addicts and alcoholics to be. I had a mentor that always told me this. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. It's just not possible. So what complacency actually looks like. Early warning signs. This is the important stuff here. So skipping meetings just this week, being less honest with check-ins, right? Keeping back 10% of the truth, sharing 90% of the truth when you normally would share 100% of the truth because you should share 100% of the truth. Avoiding certain people in recovery, avoiding difficult conversations or hard situations or hard scenarios, things you don't want to do, taking the easy way out, being complacent, lazy, giving excuses to yourself, this sort of mental banter back and forth and justifying these things we used to do in active addiction. Letting resentment go unspoken, not talking about resentment. That's a big one. Resentment will take you down, man. You can resent somebody and it'll just fester in your head until it blows up into smoking meth. I'm telling you. Stopping inventory, romanticizing the past, saying I'll deal with it later, sweeping it under the rug. Do we have any rug sweepers in here? I used to do that all the time. All my problems. It's tomorrow Anthony's problem. I'll just sweep it under the rug. And then it blows up in your face a week later. Complacency sounds logical, and that's why it's dangerous. So next, first we have early warning signs. Next we have emotional signs, irritability, restlessness, boredom, low-grade resentment. You're just sort of hating everything and everyone. Feeling disconnected but not knowing why. This sort of emptiness inside maybe. Not crisis, just something's off. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. I want to be there. I'm everywhere I am. I don't want to be here in this moment now. I want to be over there. I'm constantly scanning and people are pissing me off and not following my plan and my script. And I'm having this low level resentment that just follow me around like a black cloud. That's the emotional signs. Behavioral drift. So these are when the actions start to come up. These actions you start to notice these: more isolation, more scrolling on your phone, less structure, less service. I'm not helping as much as I used to. Less gratitude, more self-focus. I'm focusing on me. Nothing is exploding, but nothing is growing either. So it's kind of, again, you're in this sort of middle state where you're not growing and you're not moving backwards, but you're maintaining, which in my opinion, again, is you're regressing. We're regressing. We're declining. Why complacency is so risky. Addiction doesn't disappear. It goes dormant. I'm sure a lot of you know that already, but recovery isn't about getting cured. It's about staying connected to a power greater than me. Could be a group of people, could be a recovery program. It's just not me. I'm outside of myself. I'm connected to others and to the universe, to God. So your skills start to atrophy. They start to wear out. It's like you don't work out at the gym. You stop going to the gym for a while, you're going to get fat. It's just the way it goes. You're going to lose muscle. Awareness dulls, tolerance for discomfort drops. So again, things start to piss you off where they normally wouldn't have pissed you off before. So then life hits. Stress, loss, conflict, fatigue. Something happens. Lifes you. And suddenly you're unprepared. For me, I had an example of this in my last relapse when one of my friends passed away. And it was very unexpected. He took his own life and it was very sad. And it affected me more than I realized it did. I thought I was prepared for it, but I wasn't talking enough about it. I wasn't processing it with others. I wasn't focusing on how I was reacting to the situation. And that's what happens. You start to get complacent and then life happens as it does and you're not prepared. You're not ready. I wasn't ready for it. I eventually led to a relapse. I'm not saying that was the reason I relapsed, but it added to the list of unmanageability in my life at that time. So next, how complacency turns into relapse. So you might be asking me like, okay, well, that's great. How does this mean I'm going to end up drinking and using drugs again? I don't feel like drinking and using drugs. Listen, when we relapse, when we don't think about, I relapse when I don't think about relapsing. It's in the low level in the background of my mind emotionally. Like I said to you, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't happen overnight. So there's a progression here. First is comfort. Second is distance. I'm distancing myself. I'm going places and I'm holding my arm out like this, like a football player, a stiff arm. Stay back. I'm okay. I've got this. I don't need your help. Everything's great. Everything's great. Rationalization. 3, rationalization. So I'm rationalizing behavior, socially unacceptable behavior. I'm giving reasons for my socially unacceptable behavior, things I normally wouldn't do. 4, disconnection. 5, emotional relapse. 6, mental bargaining. 7, physical relapse. So you're actually using the drugs now. I guess emotional relapse, the difference between emotional relapse and mental bargaining. So emotional relapse is I'm getting angry. When anger comes up, I'm fully acting on anger. When I did a whole episode, Emotional Sobriety, if you're interested, go listen to it. But staying emotionally sober is a whole other task in of itself. I'm being aware of my emotions and not letting them manage my life. So 5, emotional relapse, 6, mental bargaining, 7, physical relapse. I've now physically relapsed. I'm using the drugs, and I'm in the craving progression, the addiction cycle. Not a good place to be. Relapse is not a moment. It is a process. It happens over time, and it's a number of moments, not one moment. It doesn't just happen. We don't just decide we're going to use drugs one minute. It's been building up. You just don't see it that way. Okay, how to course correct. So what's the solution here? You give me a lot of problems, Anthony. What's the solution? 1, name it early, label it, say it out loud. I think I'm drifting. Hey, friend in recovery, can I bounce something off of you? I feel like I'm drifting from the program. I don't feel as good. Can I talk to you about it? What do you think about this? Remove the shame. Awareness is intervention. You're raising awareness. You're being conscious of your starting to get complacent in recovery. And there's nothing wrong with it. We all do it. Anyone that tells you they're perfect in recovery, slap them in the face. Don't actually, but we all drift from recovery once in a while. The important thing is to notice and get back. 2, return to basics, not new tools. This is so important. These are old tools. We're not revolutionizing the wheel here in recovery. We're going back to the basics. I like to think of it as you're a baseball player and you need to have all the bases covered. The meetings, the therapist, the fellowship, whatever your thing is. Routine, sleep, food, movement, and honesty. Most important of all, honesty. Make sure one person on this earth knows every secret about you. No secrets. Secrets keep us sick, and you will relapse if you have secrets. I promise you. It's only a matter of time. Every time I relapsed, I wasn't practicing honesty with myself and others. That's how I relapsed every time. Dishonesty. You don't need breakthrough. You need consistency. 3, increase connection, not isolation. Call someone. Be of service. Go ask to buy someone a coffee. Show up imperfectly. Connection interrupts complacency. Again, connection interrupts complacency. Get connected. Plug back into the jug. Tap back into recovery. Tap back into the source, to God, whatever, your higher power. 4, audit your recovery. Ask, what did I stop doing? And this is when pen to paper helps. Get it written down. What did I stop doing? What am I avoiding? Where am I numbing? Who am I not talking to? What did I stop doing? What am I avoiding? Where am I numbing? Who am I not talking to? Write it down. Journal. 5, stay teachable. Humility. Recovery requires it. Recovery requires humility. You never graduate from this thing. There's no end goal. It's a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. There is no certificate given out here, no diploma in recovery. And thank God, because that means the possibilities are endless. The outcomes are endless. What a gift. I can do anything. Growth keeps you safe. Just keep growing. A good friend of mine used to always say, it's like you have a spiritual bank account. Is this action depositing into my spiritual bank account or withdrawing? If I miss a meeting or I don't talk to a friend in recovery, am I depositing? Am I filling my spiritual cup or am I emptying my spiritual cup? There's no middle ground. You're either emptying it or filling it. The moment you think you're done learning is the moment you're vulnerable. That's so important. The moment you know I'm right, yeah, but I've got this, you're fucked. Start to notice that. If you stop learning, that's another telltale sign. If you're not learning in all situations, a newcomer gets up to speak and you're writing him off because he's brand new. That's a problem. You can learn something in every situation. I can learn something in every single situation. Every single one. Okay, in closing, complacency is not failure. It's a signal, a reminder to re-engage with your people, with your recovery program, with your God, with your practices, your routines. Comfort. I'm going to leave you with some closing lines here, and hopefully you can identify this before a relapse because, again, it is not fun out there. Drugs have not gotten cheaper. They have not gotten better. If anything, has gotten worse. Your chances of overdosing now are more, but I don't need to tell you that. And plus, me telling you that is not going to change anything. Just be aware of your recovery program. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be like me. You don't need to be like your friend. You need to be more like you. Comfort isn't the enemy. Forgetting how you got here is. Don't ever forget the gift of desperation. Don't ever forget when you were first coming in and how that felt. The look on your parents' eyes, your wife's eyes, your husband's eyes when you first were deciding to get help. Keep those mental images in your mind. Stay close to the things that saved your life. So the things that worked in the beginning of your recovery, come back to them. Stay close to the things that helped you back then. Doesn't mean you have to go to 7 meetings a week like you used to, but use the things that worked for you back then now. Back to basics. Recovery doesn't need to be dramatic, just deliberate, intentional. If you like this episode, please share it, rate, like, subscribe to the podcast. It helps me so much. I love all of you. I'm sorry there hasn't been more guests coming on. I've been super busy and the studio is getting expensive now. So hopefully we will be having more people on going forward. But I do enjoy these small episodes. Send me a message on TikTok or Instagram. I'm on TikTok now because Instagram banned me for a bit because of that cocaine video. Anyways, I talk about it too much. I love you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful, blessed day. If no one's told you this yet, I love you.